Most wonderful time of the year. Football is back. NFL Week 1 is coming up, and everybody's starting off with a clean slate, feeling like they have a chance to make it to the big game in February. But in order to make it to the big game in February, you must make the playoffs. And one of the shoe-in ways to make it to the playoffs is to win your division. So I'm going to give you my predictions on who are going to win their divisions in the NFC. Starting off with the NFC South first, I mean, we can go ahead and eliminate a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's just say it out loud. Tom Brady's gone. Baker Mayfield is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Doesn't have the same ring to it, I know. No need to overanalyze that. And then you got the Carolina Panthers. Rookie quarterback in Bryce Young may be the promising future for the franchise down the road, but this ain't down the road. This is now. And that offensive line is trash right now. Defense good, bad offensive line, rookie quarterback. Not a good recipe for success, more like a disaster. And then you got everybody's darling to shoe in to win the NFC South, right? The New Orleans Saints. Let's pump the brakes on that. We're talking about Derek Carr, the same quarterback that couldn't get it done with the Raiders with Devontae Adams as his wide receiver and Josh Jacobs as his running back. So you're telling me now Alvin Kamara, aging Alvin Kamara, who's suspended for the first 4 games, by the way, and a Michael Thomas, a wide receiver who's never healthy. Yeah, I like Chris Olave, and yeah, their defense is legit, but I'm telling you, everybody's not paying attention because the shoe-in bet to win the NFC South will be the Atlanta Falcons. And I know it sounds like a homer pick. I know I'm a fan, but I'm being real about it. I'm being honest. If you look at that team from front to back, that offense is stacked. One of the best offensive lines in all of football. You got Bijan Robinson, who's going to be a pure stud. You got Drake London, a healthy Kyle Pitts. And yes, Desmond Ridder is the quarterback. They made moves in the offseason to get that defensive better. They will be good enough, and with that schedule that they have, they will win the NFC South. Book it. Now, heading over to the NFC East, it's a little bit more competitive than what it used to be. We used to call it the NFC least. I mean, Washington has gotten a little bit better. Is Sam Howell a guy? I mean, he looks pretty decent, but that is their quarterback, what they have to work with a few pieces on offense. I just don't think it's enough to get it done in that competitive division because you got teams like the New York Giants. New York Giants made the playoffs last year. They put all their chips into Daniel Jones going into this year. Don't know if that was the right move, but they did it anyway. And nonetheless, they're going to be competitive in that division. But is it enough to take down a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who on paper should be great? But I don't trust that quarterback, do you? I mean, I don't even think the teammates on their defense trust their quarterback on that side of the ball. Not with the way they were acting in the offseason or during the summer, shall I say, in summer camp. I don't think they trust Dak Prescott, and I think that Jerry Jones is starting not to trust him either. It's going to be a disaster, I believe, by the time that the end of the season is near, at least when the division is concerned. But go ahead and book it, write it down. The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in that division, possibly the best team in the NFC. They will win the NFC East, hands down. Better in the trenches than anybody, offensive, defense, and when you're great in the trenches, you're going to win ball games. Heading over to the NFC North, where, man, it doesn't look too promising over there with some of those teams. You got the Chicago Bears. Is Justin Fields going to take them over the hump? I don't like to collect the pieces that they have on both sides of the ball. Chicago Bears is just not going to get it done. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. Is he the guy? Is he going to be the replacement for Mr. Aaron Rodgers? I don't know what we have in Jordan Love. I don't think Green Bay does either, but they may win some games, but man, I don't think enough to win that division. You got the Minnesota Vikings, the champs from last year in that division, but you go back and look at last year, that schedule was a little easy, and plus they won a lot of games that were decided by one possession or less, really about 3 points. They pulled off a lot of those games. That schedule is not the same, and that defense is horrendous. I know they hired Brian Flores to kind of shore some things up, but they didn't add enough pieces as far as players to make that defense better. I don't think they're good enough to beat, you guessed it, the Detroit Lions. They're going to win the NFC North. Dan Campbell has those guys believing. Jared Goff is a better quarterback than what people want to give him credit for. And yes, they have some pieces on both sides of the ball. Write it down. The Detroit Lions will win the NFC North. And then heading over to the NFC West, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you look at it, you can just go ahead and write off a team like the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, Mighty Mouse, their quarterback, he's out for at least to October, November. By then, they'll be dead in the water. The Los Angeles Rams, I don't see it. A lot of pieces are gone. They'll probably trade Aaron Donaldson by the trade deadline, I'm thinking. And they just don't have enough to get it done. Possibly the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, They've added some pieces over there. They still have that offense. Not sure how good their defense is going to be. It doesn't matter because they're not good enough to even hold a candle to the San Francisco 49ers, who is possibly the best, or if not the second best team in all of the NFC. I mean, even with guys like Nick Bosa holding out, I'm pretty sure they'll figure that contract thing out. They're just loaded. That is just a loaded team, even with a quarterback like Brock Purdy. I mean, it's just what it is. I'm just saying what I see. Just saying.